So, this is another one of those episodes that I really don't care for. And I'm only because I have the podcast and I want to get through them. Like I said in the beginning, there are only 2 episodes that I will really, truly skip. And those are further down the road. But I would appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button. Christina, Kristina. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. I'm a series person. I like to binge on series. I like to read series. If you haven't seen my Janet Ivanovich series, my Catherine Coulter series, my J.D. Robb series, which we'll be doing again in 2026, Laurel K. Hamilton, Donna Andrews, Krista Davis, Shellman. There's a whole bunch of series out there. James Patterson's Women's Murder Club and James Patterson's Alex Cross series. I've done them all. I'm a series person. I like to binge. And I like to binge on a rainy day some Star Trek. Some Star Trek Voyager. And a little confession here. Out of all the Star Treks, Deep Space Nine, Next Generation, regular Star Trek, Voyager is my favorite theme song. I can't sing, can't hold a tune for nothing, but Voyager is my favorite theme song. I do not know why they aired these episodes out of order in the way they filmed them, but they did. So we're doing them in the way they aired on TV. And we've done the 37s, which is one of my better favorite episodes. We did the 121 initiations with Chakotay. I didn't particularly care for that. It dealt with a lot of racism, bigotry, which is real life, and sometimes you just want to escape real life. And today we're doing Projections 117. It's another one of those episodes. I would be skipping it if I wasn't doing the video. I would be skipping it. Alright, so there is no captain's voiceover with this episode. They dive right in it. They don't tell you what's going on right away. Leave up the suspense, I guess, for the plot line. So, let's see. I'm always having trouble with this. But we open, and the doctor is by himself. So, there's a lot of dialogue in this, and it's just... So, the doctor's by himself, and he discovers that he is by himself. He talks to the computer, and the computer confirms he's by himself. And he's like, where's the crew? Unknown. Did they go on shore leave? Are they dead? What? That information is not available. Can you give me your ship's report? Affirmative. Warp core is offline. The ship is restricted to emergency power and auxiliary systems only. Structural integrity breach on deck 6, 7, and 12. Deflector shields inoperative. Weapons way offline. Communications offline. Sewage and waste remain offline. Okay, I get the idea. What caused this? I don't know. Computer says. The doctor goes into his office. He replays the last log from Janeway. Let's see if we can get there. So, I do like seeing Dwight Schultz, although I do look forward to seeing him much later on, with I forget what is the Hope thing that goes on in season 7, maybe that happens. So the doctor goes into his office and he's playing the last message from Janeway. Heavy casualties, the warp core is going critical and the ejection system is offline. I've ordered all personnel to abandon ship. Lieutenant Torres and I And it ends there. Scan the ship for any human life forms. There are no human life forms aboard. Well, I'm glad everyone bothered to say goodbye. Chief Medical Officer's log, stardate 48892.1. It appears the Voyager has suffered a disaster. What kind, I don't know, but one thing is clear. The crew was forced to abandon ship. It would therefore seem that my usefulness has come to an end. I'm terminating my program. If anybody finds this lock, I can be activated by... And he hears a noise. I wanted to point out that he's doing all this. He hears a noise. He's just about to terminate himself. And he hears a noise. And he goes to investigate this noise. And he's hiding. And he gathers a hyperspray. I was under the assumption that he was a hologram and he could not be hurt by anything. So why is he fearful for his life if he is a hologram? I just thought I'd bring that up. So then the person coming through the doors is Balana. And he tells her that the computer said everyone had left. And she says the internal sensors were damaged during the attack. They must not be reading every life sign on the ship. Attack? The Kazon, two of their Predator-class warships took us by surprise. Hit us with a volley of plasma torpedoes. It started a core breach and we had to abandon ship. The captain and I stayed behind to see if we could stop the breach. At the last second, we did. So then he's examining her, and his tricorder is not picking up her life signs. You've got to help the captain. She was hit by a falling support beam. I don't want to risk moving her, so I had to leave her on the bridge. Can't we beam her to sickbay? The transporters are down, so are the turbolifts. I had to crawl through 31 Jeffrey tubes on 5 decks to get here. Then you're going to have to go back up there with a medical kit. I'll instruct you how to treat her. You don't understand. I'm not going. You are. I'm sending you to the bridge. That would be ideal if it were possible, but my projection system is limited to sickbay and the holodecks. Not anymore. For the past few weeks, we're setting up holographic emitters on the critical decks. We were hoping to set up a remote holo projection system, give you the access to other parts of the ship. Why wasn't I told about this? We hadn't even tested the system yet. There's no guarantee it was going to work. I guess the captain didn't want to get your hopes up. Her compassion is heartwarming. The next time I'd rather be kept informed. Where are these remote projectors? Decks 1 through 5. We also put them in engineering, the mess hall, and the cargo bay. All the projectors are in place, but the problem is we're going to have to interface with the sick bay's imaging system. That's going to take a lot of power, computer memory. I don't know if we have enough reserve power to spare. Most of the crew is gone. Could we divert power from life support systems? That's a good idea. I can drop life support down to minimum levels on the lower decks. That should give us enough power. All right, I'll need another 20 minutes to get the projector online. And then he fiddles with the projector. She fiddles with the projector. See what happens. So then the doctor's on the bridge. Well, it's bigger than I thought. And he finds the captain and he examines her. Oh, I see the new holo projectors are working. Lieutenant Torres was able to get them online. Are you feeling any pain, nauseous, dizziness? I'm a little disoriented and I've had one hell of a headache. For some reason, none of the tricorders are working. From what I can tell, you have a concussion. I'd like to get you to sick bay as soon as possible. The last thing I remember is launching the escape pods. Lieutenant Torres and I were trying to stop the core breach, and then I blacked out. You were successful in preventing the breach. And the crew? They were taken prisoner by the Kazon. Torres to the bridge. Can you hear me? Yes, Lieutenant, we can hear you. Are you all right, Captain? I'm fine. I'm glad you convinced the doctor to make a house call. What's your status? Let's see if I can do this. So then she's talking to Torres about bypassing a power of lead ray and with the doctor, and he's going to try and help. And then all of a sudden, she gets a call from Neelix to bridge. Is anyone there? Emergency. And I thought her and B'Elanna and Torres were the only ones left on the ship. All of a sudden, Neelix is still on the ship too. Alright, I was trying to get a shot and he kept ducking and it was too much to get a shot. But Neelix was initially behind the counter and he was throwing fruit at the Kazon from over the counter. And now he's come around the other side. And he hits the Kazon with a cooking implement. He knocks him out with his best saute pan. But the guy was able to throw the doctor, and the doctor had pain, and he doesn't understand why a hologram is feeling pain. And wait a second, let me see if I can find it. So Neelix has the cut, and he's like, "Am I going to die?" And the doctor's like, "No, it's a superficial cut. You'll be fine." So then the doctor examines it closely, and it turns out to be a ketchup, not somebody else's ketchup. Kess and I were on our way to the escape pods when this Kazon fungus came crawling out of an access hatch. I kept him occupied long enough for Kess to get away, but he didn't give up easily, so I took off running. He chased me and I let him here. No one gets the best of me in my kitchen. And then the doctor discovers he's bleeding. He's like, "I'm not programmed to feel pain. I'm not programmed to bleed. What's going on here?" So then he's back in sickbay and he's examining himself. He's got a heart rate, he's got blood pressure, he's got brain patterns. Computer analyze emergency medical hologram. Hasn't been altered in any way to include life signs. Unable to comply. Requested program is not on file. Not on file? The program's running right now. Display schematics for all sickbay holograph systems. There's no holograph systems exist in sickbay. EMH program AK1 diagnostic and surgical subroutine Omega 323. Check the database and you'll find it. Specified program does not exist. But then who is the chief medical officer on board this ship? The chief medical officer of USS Voyager is Dr. Louis Zimmerman. Louis Zimmerman! Yes, he was the engineer who created my program. I understand he resembles me, but he's not on Voyager. He's at Jupiter Station, Hologram Programming Center. Computer, how long has Dr. Zimmerman served on Voyager? Dr. Zimmerman commenced duty on Stardate 48308.2. That's the date I was activated. Computer display all Starfleet records on Louis Zimmerman. So then he pulls up the computer on Zimmerman, and the computer tells him he's Zimmerman. So then Janeway comes in with Neelix, and I think Torres. We'll have to look at this again. And her hair's fixed, her makeup's fixed, she's not injured anymore, she's perfect in her uniform, she's spotless, she hasn't been in any tragedy on the bridge. The doctor's examining her, and he says, there's a problem with the remote projectors. The multiple holograph signals may be confusing the computer. I'm going to deactivate you and reinitialize your program parameters. Computer, discontinue emergency medical holograph. See what I mean? You're right. Your program's not anywhere in file. Computer shut down all holograph systems. Janeway, Torres, Neelix, and the Kazon vanish. So everyone else on the ship vanishes, and he's the only one standing there. And then we get a visit from an old pal. Alright, maybe a new character to Voyager, but an old character to Star Trek fans who know Lieutenant Barclay from Star Trek Next Generation. Dr. Barclay, I'm glad to see you. Can you see me? Of course I can see you. Who are you? Sir, it's me. It's Lieutenant Barclay, Reg, your assistant. My assistant's name is Cass. Who are you? Uh-oh, what? This is bad, very bad. Don't panic. Let's just try to think our way through this. I'm not familiar with you. Are you a member of the Voyager crew, or have you encountered another Federation ship? Oh boy, the Voyager. Oh boy, this is going to sound a little crazy from your perspective, but you've got to trust me. None of this has happened. This is all a holographic simulation that you've been running. What are you talking about? Now remember. Oh shoot, my leg's stuck. Um, Remember in future episodes, it'll be Barclay that's running the Voyager holodeck program. He's the one that's hanging out with all the Voyager crew. He's the one that's involved with Voyager in the future. Um, let's see. So Barclay is telling him, it was a program that you wrote to study the psychological impact of long-term isolation on a crew made out of Starfleet and Marquis. I wrote a program. That's preposterous. I am the program. Voyager is a real ship, manned by real people. I'm afraid not, Barclay says. This must have something to do with the radiation surge. What was that? We've been having problems shutting down the program because of kinoplasmic radiation surge on the station. It's affected all the computer systems, including holodecks. The radiation must be affecting the memory centers of your brain. How did you get here? I'm not really here. Clearly, I'm here because we're talking, you see, but what I mean is, I'm in a control booth outside of the holodeck. What you see is protection of my body so we can communicate. We've been trying to get in here and send you a message for 6 hours. You expect me to believe the past 6 months I've spent on this ship have been nothing but a simulation? You haven't been here 6 months, it's only been 6 hours. That's impossible. I have very clear memories of my first appearance, meeting Captain Janeway for the first time. I've had numerous experiences aboard of this ship. That's all part of the simulation. How do I know you're not some kind of alien impersonating a Starfleet officer? Look, Doctor, it's important that you believe me. You're losing your sense of identity. You're starting to think that you're part of a program, and that's not good. It's called holotransference dementia syndrome. So now I'm having a psychotic episode? Yes, no, yes. I mean the radiation. I'm sorry I have to do this. And he slaps him. He slaps the doctor, and the doctor actually feels it. I could be programmed to hurt. Doctor. He slaps him again. I'll be back. Trying to discuss this with others. Don't go anywhere. Pain. Why do I have pain? So then Barclay comes back and says, the problem is worse than we thought. The radiation is disrupting command protocols. We can't shut down the program. And while the program is running, we can't access the hologram. Why don't you beam me out of here? We tried, but the radiation is interfering with the transporters and we can't get a lock on you. I've consulted with our neurologist, Dr. Kaplan, and he said if we can't get you out of here within the next hour, that the radiation could completely oxidize your neural cells. What do you suggest? There's only one way left to terminate the program, and that's to let it play out. Bring us to conclusion, and once the simulation ends, it will release the locks on the holodeck. How does it conclude? Your program includes 2 possible outcomes. Either Voyager finds its way back to Federation space, or it's destroyed in the process. But the simulation was designed to run for weeks before either happens. But I know of a way that you can bring it to an end right now. Destroy the ship. Destroy Voyager. It's just a simulation, Lewis. None of this is real. Unless you destroy the ship that you think you're on, you're going to die. No, absolutely not. First of all, I don't know how to destroy the ship. Second of all, I wouldn't do it even if I could. And third, how do I know you're not an alien intruder trying to trick me into killing anyone? Well, those are good questions. First, I can tell you how to destroy Voyager. Second, if you don't do it, you're going to die. And third, well, I'm just not an alien. I don't know how to convince you of that. If you're saying what's true, why don't you destroy the ship? Why do I have to do it? You're the one running the simulation. It's coded to respond to your input. I'm sorry, Mr. Barclay, if that's what your real name is, but you're not very convincing. And he gives him the tricorder and he scans him. And he convinces the doctor that he's on a holodeck. So Barclay leaves, And he ends up in the middle of a ship-wide emergency. And then Kim comes in and asks him if she's the medical emergency hologram. And Kim says yes. And Kim says the program must be malfunctioning. Let me see if I can reset it. And he asked Mr. Barclay to return. And then Paris shows up. And apparently he's reliving an earlier event that happened on Voyager. So then Barclay, he requests that Barclay show up. So then Barclay reappears. This is the beginning of the simulation. We can't shut down the program, but we can restart it. This is my first memory of being on Voyager. Who the hell are you? Did I program Mr. Paris to be so annoying? Actually, I programmed. I modeled him after my cousin Frank. Computer, delete Paris. What are you? And Paris disappears. What did you do to him? Computer, delete Kim. Kim disappears. So then Barclay says, what are you going to do now? I need to confirm my true nature, whether or not I'm in fact a real person. Let's just say that I'm right and this is a real ship and I'm a hologram. If I were to destroy the holographic core memory, then I should disappear. Yes, but if you destroy it and you're still here, then I'm not a hologram. And you'll know that I'm telling the truth. The holo core is located in engineering. Let's go. Then we go down to engineering and all the crew's there. They're all there. And Janeway's down there. And she says magnetic constrictors are online. The warp core is stable. Let's get started on those plasma arrays. Who are you? I'm the EMH. I didn't know you could be projected into engineering. I can't, but it's a long story. I'd rather not go into it right now. Fine, we have 3 wounded crew members over there. I'm afraid I have more pressing matter to attend to, Captain. What do you mean you have a more pressing matter to attend to? And who are you? I don't recognize you. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just assisting the doctor because she sees Barclay. Computer, delete Janeway. And she stays. She doesn't move. The computer is not responding to vocal commands. The protocols are starting to freeze up. We don't have much time. And Jarvis, Paris, put these men under arrest. Don't worry, these phasers aren't real. They're just holograms. I wouldn't be sure. I was injured earlier. And he tells her, the array you discovered is controlled by an entity you will come to know as the Caretaker or the Banjo Man. He's actually an alien life form who's caring for a species known as the Kampa who live nearby. And Janeway says, enough, I don't know what all this is about, but clearly you're involved. Take him to the brig. I'll question them later. No, I don't think so. You're in no position to argue. I'm not arguing. I'm simply pointing out that in several seconds, the entire crew of Voyager will be transported to the array, and where you will be tortured and probed for medical information. It's quite painful, I hear, but not fatal. And then she gets a message from Kim. Bridge to Janeway. We're being scanned by the array captain. It's penetrated our shields. What kind of scan? And the people start to disappear. So then they're destroying the holographic system on Voyager. And they're over at the computer. And they fire at the circuits. Computer, what is the status of the holographic imaging system on Voyager? The holographic system has been destroyed. Are there any holographic programs running anywhere on the ship? No. Then why is the ship still here and not a hologram? Please restate the question. You said all holo systems are destroyed. Why is the ship simulation still running? All holo simulations have been terminated. I don't know. I know this is confusing, but try to remember you just destroyed the holographic imaging system on a holographic ship. A hologram in a hologram. If you want to at this end, you've got to destroy the entire simulation, the ship itself. Huh? Then it's true I'm a real person, and you're a person in great danger. Destroy the ship now before it's too late. But what if I'm wrong? Doctor, you've got to believe me. What else can I do to prove it to you? I know, but it's just so. And he gets a headache. I guess you're right. The warp core even said I'm full power. It's going to take a sustained phaser burst to punch through the duranium shielding. Set your phaser to maximum. And then Chakotay shows up. He says, "You're on a holodeck on Voyager. The captain suggested you take a day off, try a holonova, so you did. But while you were running the holonova, there was a kinoplasmic radiation surge in the imaging system. It created a feedback loop between the holodeck and the computer and your program. All of this, including Mr. Barclay, is a holographic simulation created by your codes, subroutines, and memory circuits." Barclay says, "Don't be distracted by these holographic characters. Stay focused on what you need to do. Destroy the warp core." Wait a minute. The entire crew of Voyager was just taken by the array. They won't be back for 3 days, so what is he doing here? The program is malfunctioning. Are you the real Commander Chote or a holographic projection like Mr. Barclay? I'm a projection. I'm really at the holographic control station in engineering. You're trapped on the holodeck. We've been monitoring the program from here, and you've been trying to reach you for hours. Sounds familiar. He told me the same thing. Doc, did you remember coming into the holodeck and running a holonovel the last 6 hours? No, I don't. That's because your memory circuits are being eradicated by the feedback loop. We've got to get you off the holodeck, transfer you to sickbay. You don't have memory circuits, you have a mind, and it's being damaged, Barclay says. Destroy the Voyager, the program will end and we can get you off the holodeck. Chakotay says, "That's not true. Because of the feedback loop, if you destroy the simulation, you'll be destroyed as well." Me? If you shut down the simulation, your program will be wiped out along with it. There'll be no way to retrieve the lost data. You'll be gone. And Barclay gets the doctor gets another headache. Only real people experience pain. You've got to believe me. What you perceived as pain is really the feedback loop eradicating your memory circuits. What is it you want me to do? Don't do anything. We're working on the problem right now. We're close to a solution. Do nothing and you die, Barclay says. So the doctor collapses, and Chakotay says for the doctor to trust him. And then Cass shows up, and she says, "Lewis, please listen to Reg. She's trying to help you destroy this program. If you listen to her," Chakotay says, "you'll end up destroying yourself." Cass says, "Believe in yourself. You're not a program. You're a real flesh and blood human being. And you're my husband. I don't want to lose you." And Barclay says, "Lewis, how would you rather think of yourself? As a real person with a real life with a family that loves you, or some holographic that exists in sickbay on a starship lost in deep space?" I will remind you that we will be tackling that very same thing down the road when the doctor creates a real family for himself. So then he wakes up in the sick bay and he tells Kes that she's beautiful. "What's going on?" Tuvok says, "We were able to shut down the holodeck simulation that your program was generating. Commander Turkey transferred you to sickbay. You seem to have suffered no damage. What really happened?" Voyager encountered a subspace anomaly which created a kinoplasmic radiation surge throughout most of our computers. Unfortunately, it happened while you were using the holodeck. We've been working for the past 6 hours to get you out of there. So there never was a Kazon attack. That's right, Kiss says. And the crew didn't actually abandon ship. No, in fact, for the computer systems, it's actually been an uneventful day. And who is this Lieutenant Barclay imagined? Kim says, Barclay was part of the original engineering system that designed your program. He was in charge of testing your interpersonal skills. Well, this should make an interesting paper. Chakotay to sick bay. Is the doctor all right? Yes, Commander. His program is functioning normally. Good. As soon as you're finished here, I want all senior officers to report to the bridge. Acknowledged. It's good to have you back, Doctor. Well, I suppose I should be cataloging the neuro samples I was working on this morning. So then Cass asks him, "Then you think I'm beautiful?" I didn't say that exactly. I consider you very attractive in a platonic sense. I see. Then you really don't love me. I guess not. Then I guess our marriage is over. Our marriage? Are you making a joke? It's not a joke, Louis. I know we have problems, but I think we can resolve them. No, no, no. This can't be right. Something's wrong here. Barclay says it's not too late, Louis. You can still save yourself by destroying the warp core, and the headaches return. Then he's imagining himself injured. Um, and then a Kazon is there, and then Janeway is there, and then they're on the holodeck. Do you know who I am? Do you know where you are? I appear to be on the hologram. That's right. And do you know what you are? I'm the EMH. Right, right. Well, let's assume took place here on the holodeck. That's right. We encountered a subspace anomaly, and there was a radiation surge in the computer system. And Cass is my assistant, not my wife. Your wife? Never mind. Captain, it's okay. I'd like to return to sickbay. Of course. It's good to have you back, Doctor. It's good to be back. So then he's there with Cass. We were married. It was a delusion, of course. I understand, but I still prefer it if you didn't tell Neelix about this. He tends to get a little jealous. It'll be our secret. I'm curious about one thing. What? The radiation surge caused my program to malfunction and my code circuits to degrade, and yet, instead of detecting the threat to my program, I experienced an elaborate delusion concerning the nature of my existence, human or hologram, person or projection. Why would my program focus on such an esoteric dilemma? Sometimes ask those questions. Who am I? What am I doing here? What is my purpose in life? Doesn't everybody? Not me. I know exactly who I am and what my purpose is. I am the EMH aboard the Starship Voyager. Are you sure about that? And she leaves. And that is the end of projections. Please stay tuned next week for Elohim or whatever that says. And don't forget to hit and like and subscribe. And don't forget to watch If Then Later today. Have a good one.